Oh, yeah. What is up? What is up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Monday, ladies and gentlemen. And that can only mean one thing. A Scream stream. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you haven't already been made, welcome. Sean Sheridan is with us tonight, throwing in a little support for the channel. Appreciate you, Sean. Thank you. Not doing it once, but twice. Sean, we love you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you got anything to say, Sean, throw it out there. We'll get to it, my friend. Julian Perez is with us saying, who do you think should direct the next Jeepers Creepers movie? Oh, man, that's a can of worms right there, my friend. Jeepers Creepers 4, as you know, did not do too well. Villain Killin' Dylan is even talking about that one too, saying it disappointed you, but it wasn't bad for a basic slasher. Okay, all right, hey, not bad, man, not bad. VKD, welcome in. But in terms of who should direct, man, I mean, it is a dead franchise if I've ever seen one. It is in court right now. It is, the first 3 movies were directed by a pedophile. It doesn't exactly have like the most. Not too many positives in that corner, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I couldn't think of a single director who would want to touch that franchise with a 10-foot pole. So that's kind of the shame. It's kind of the shame of it, man. It's rough. It's rough, Julian, but welcome in, my friend. Appreciate you. Paula Fitzhenry, hi. Hello, Paula. Welcome in. Thanks for being a Killjoy cult member. Appreciate you. Sarah Campbell is our guest for tonight. She's coming on in just a second. Hello. She can say hi. She sees me from the back. Hello. Oh, look at that. She's waving to me. She's giving me the finger now too, but that's completely unrelated. No, I'm so kidding. RJ's with us too, saying, "How about Ghostface in the White House? Chucky can do it. So can Ghostface. Fuck it, RJ. I say hell yes. Let's see the president be Ghostface. It was him the whole time. I listen, man, I don't write the movies, thank God, right? There we go. Welcome in, RJ. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. I Like Scream and Ice Cream is saying, sup, everyone. How's it going, man? Saying, did you see the trailer for Immaculate starring Sydney Sweeney? I did. I'm very excited for this one. Can't wait. I think it's gonna be fun, man. Seen a lot of good Sydney Sweeney movies lately. I don't know. I've just been vibing with a lot of the content that she's been a part of. So it's good stuff. Wild Boy Movies is saying, I'm very open to the idea of a group of Ghostface killers, like a cult, or an orgy of ghost faces, if you will, to go after our new protagonists. Wild Boy Movies, I dig it, man. I dig it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, bud, friendo, even. I'll say that. Welcome in. Connie Cleary, hello. Love the bird as always. I can't get enough of it, in fact. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a channel member as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing on our guest, the absolutely wonderful queen of this side of the horror community, Sarah Campbell. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
It is going fantastic. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited to be here. I always love coming on. Also, I forgot that you could see me when I'm backstage and you're streaming. For anyone who doesn't know me, which is most of you, I chopped like a lot of my hair off. So he's talking and I'm back here like zhuzhing and fixing and just being an idiot, and he can see me the whole time.
You were even giving me the finger too, which is crazy. I don't even know what I said. I said hello. I said thanks for being here, Sarah. Jeez.
A lot of obscene gestures.
A lot of obscene. Yeah, multiple. It wasn't just the one. Sarah, I gotta ask. Since this is a Scream stream, where are you mentally with in your headspace with Scream 7?
I'm so burnt out with Scream 7. Like, I'm letting it take up 0 space until I have like an actual confirmed piece of information.
That's entirely fair.
Like, it's a lot. Like, I'm so down for when, we know a movie's coming out and we're speculating what's going to happen. Like, it's like we know a cast, we can talk about these things. But, like, until somebody tells me, like, this is the director or Spyglass sold or, like, I see a signed contract, like, I don't know what I can talk about.
I've been in the same boat. I've been in the exact same boat. I'm like, what the hell do I talk about? There's no updates. It doesn't seem like anything's being, any progress being made, but there is, you know what I mean? They're totally working on it behind the scenes. We just don't know about it yet, unfortunately.
Right. Like, I could talk about like wishes and wants, but at the end of the day, like, God, we've been talking about that for years. At this point, it's what it feels like.
I think the scariest thing is that it's just changed drastically. Now that we don't have Melissa Barrera, now that Jenna Ortega's out of the picture too, it's just a whole different conversation nowadays. And like for a while there, I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna bring him back. Maybe it's gonna be this like there's gonna be a big apology or something. And no, like I don't think that's even remotely possible at this point.
No, like I think I've mentioned this before on your channel, but like unless Spyglass sells, like the Carpenter storyline's dead. So all we can really do is talk about what we'd want splitting off from that.
Right, right. And I mean, in regards to that, are you down for like what a lot of people are saying right now, which is have Sydney come back and be the focus again?
Yeah. I'm 34, so I think I'm like a little older than a lot of like the people watching who like love 5 and 6, which is like amazing. But for me, like Scream is always Sydney's story. Like I'm a big pusher of like the original trilogy. Like 4 is fine, but like 1 through 3 is my jam. So I'm so down. Like I'm down for like a pocket story between 4 and 5. I'm down for like a Sydney and Mark and Gail focus story. I'm down for like a new Nightmare style. Like we're probably gonna go. I mean, they're gonna want to make money, so it makes sense for legacies. But if that doesn't work out, they're probably gonna go full new cast, and I don't know how I feel about that.
That would make me sad. I think that would make a lot of fans sad, right? At this point.
I think the ultimate sin, like the worst thing they could ever possibly do, is continue with the Carpenter storyline and recast. But I don't think they're
Oh,
stupid enough to do that. So I think we're probably going forward.
they
Hopefully,
might be though.
Sydney.
Let's hope they're not that dumb.
Oh,
I hope it's with Sydney too. We've had a lot of talk saying that Patrick Dempsey will show up in the next movie potentially as Mark Kincaid from Part 3, which I think is pretty cool.
I love that, and I feel like before I'd say no chance, but after Thanksgiving, I'm like he's back in the space. Like you never know.
He did that weird little Eli Roth horror movie, so why wouldn't he do the 7th installment in a very popular franchise, right? Like
Exactly.
something in the same vein. I think so. I'm with you there. We got a few people hanging out with us in the comments that I just want to say hello to. Paula is asking, did either of us see the trailer for A Quiet Place Day One? Sarah, did you check this one out?
I saw the trailer. I wasn't seeking it out. It played as like an ad in between something I was watching.
Yeah.
But I really like Joseph, what's his face?
Joseph Quinn, right?
Yeah,
From
from
Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Things. I like him. I didn't see the second one, so I feel like I would need to watch the second and then go back. I'm not like it's one of those movies where like I'm not against it. Like it looks cool. I'm not invested in that franchise.
I thought I was for a while there, but I guess I'm not either. I've had no interest in rewatching these movies, unfortunately. I don't know
No,
what
and
it is.
I think I was a little late watching it, but it came out in that chunk of time where like Netflix was like kind of ripping some stuff off. So there was like that one called like The Silence, which was like a mix between like Bird Box and like A Quiet Place, and it was all just like lumped in with those, and I was like, oh, it's just another like creature movie. But I like people talk really highly about them, so I may give them another chance.
They're like really well shot. They're really well acted. There's nothing that's nothing that's particularly like offensive about them. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I just have no interest to go back and rewatch those movies. I've seen them. I got it. I got the full picture.
I will say though, if I hadn't seen any and you presented me with all three, I feel like I probably would like this one the best. So that's why I might give it a chance.
It's got a great cast across the board. I mean, we were talking about Joseph Quinn, but Lupita Nyong'o from Us is also in it, and she's great. She's fantastic in everything she's in. So I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a bad movie, but I'm not necessarily like I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of not necessarily like, oh, I can't wait until this one comes out. I'll see it. I'll check it out. It's gonna be a quiet movie. It's gonna be hard to eat snacks while watching it. But hey, we'll check it out. But yeah, I guess that's my thoughts, Paula. Not very exciting, I know. Just kind of like, it sounds like a quiet movie is what it sounds like to me. But that was a bad joke. Travis Dale is with us tonight. we're changing the subject. What's up, Travis? How's it going? Thanks for being a channel member. I appreciate you. I Like Scream and Ice Cream wants to see what our predictions would be if Sarah Connor and Laurie Strode fought each other. Any thoughts on this, Sarah?
Oh, Sarah Connor, like 100%.
Well, you're biased there. I mean.
Yeah, of course.
with the name, of course. So,
But I know that I know a lot of people didn't like Dark Fate. I kind of did, but comparing like that Sarah with like this Lori, Sarah Connor.
I mean, she fights literal robots and wins a lot of the
Preparing
time.
her whole life. For
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, and Laurie Strode. I mean, Laurie Strode's a badass. Don't get me wrong, but she just fought like one indestructible guy. I mean, come on, compared to a bunch of robots. Yeah, no, yeah, Sarah Connor wins that fight all day, I think.
And I mean, Laurie's had like the recent loss of a child, but like this happened to Sarah Connor like years ago, and she's had that rage building all this time.
She's hardened from it, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel like Sarah Connor might be a little more like stable, where Laurie Strode is not. She can't necessarily commit to a plan as well as Sarah can. So I feel you there. I like Scream and Ice Cream. I love the question, man. Thanks for being here. Caitlin Johnson, hello. Welcome in. Marcus is with us tonight from I Shot Him 6 Times. What's up, dog? What's up, bro? Glad I can hang out and catch the stream tonight. Good, Marcus. Thanks for being
Marcus.
here. Yo. We love having you around, man. Thanks for being here. Tamar. What's up, dude? I'm gonna butcher your last name. I'm so sorry, but thank you for being here, dude. I think a Sydney and Gail story is what it should be. You wouldn't watch it if they don't have Gail and Sydney there. Sarah, I believe you're in the same boat. Like you want to see these characters back on the big screen.
I do. I mean, again, like it's always gonna be a Sydney story to me, but like I really think they mishandled Gail in 6, and I need like her redemption.
We need a better plot line, right? I feel you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay. No, I was just saying, like, we left her in the hospital. Like, we didn't even see her. All we heard was Danny, who we knew for 2 seconds, saying that, like, she's okay. It's like, am I going to take your word for that? Like, yeah, she was just mishandled throughout the whole movie, and I need her to come back.
Yeah, dude, no, I 100% feel you, especially because of where we left Gail after Scream 5. I mean, Scream 5 ended with her saying, like, I'm going to write this book about a good cop named Dewey, and then doesn't do that? What? Gail, what you doing? You're off your rocker. Get that book out about Dewey. That's what I say.
100%. Same page.
I want to see that happen for sure. I want to see Gail if Gail and Sydney are going to be in it, though. I can't stress this enough. I want them to be written in a way that feels like a story that's worth telling. Like I feel like Gail's inclusion in 6 almost felt to the point where it was like unnecessary. And I don't know. I wish they had done something a little more interesting with her to keep me invested in such a wonderful and long-standing character in this franchise.
Right? Like, I think it was a mistake making Gail and Kirby competitive. I think we could have had more of them, and it would have been more impactful if they were actually working together.
Yeah, that's another big facet too. I don't like there was an ensemble in 6, right? But it kind of felt like a little disjointed at times. A lot of the times, they felt very like dispersed. Like people would just show up and leave or whatever for whatever reason. I don't know. I need a little more consistency with the next one for sure. Mo Me is saying the A Quiet Place series are very good movies, but they're pretty bleak. We'll watch the new film, but I expect it to be very heavy. Yeah, I would agree with that. They're heavy films. That they're dealing with the apocalypse, so you're gonna get that, right. It's gonna be something that's a little tougher to swallow than a fun Scream film where the killer gets unmasked by the beginning of the 3rd act.
And I think that's why I would probably like part 1 or day 1 better, because like I have apocalypse fatigue at this point. There's so many movies where like you're dropping me in, but I'm down with seeing the beginning.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. Like, I feel like we've seen a lot of stuff, and that's just because of where, that's where society is. Like, a lot of us are so, we're all talking about that, right? We're all talking, well, what's up next for the human race? The apocalypse. That's not, wow, that really brought down the conversation, huh? I'm in a mood tonight, I guess, Sarah. I don't know what's going on, but.
Hey, here we are.
Here we are. This is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, back to our fun little escape from reality here. Yurty G is throwing $10 out there. Hard eyes to Miss Campbell.
Hey, Yurty G. I am a clownaholic.
Good. You gotta love Yurty G's music, and he's working on a badass new album.
Nice.
I've had the pleasure of being able to listen to some of the tracks early, and it's awesome. Sarah, I know we've talked a little bit about Limp Bizkit and how much we love Limp Bizkit.
Unironically, love Limp Bizkit, yes.
Unironic love for this great band. I thirst for the Durst. I Yurdy G is doing something that feels in the same vein as that, and I can't say any more than that because I don't want to spoil the big surprise. But I'm in love with it personally. Yurdy, I've been listening to everything that you've been sending me, my dude, and I've been really vibing with it. Thank you so much for all the early releases, dude. I really appreciate you, man. And thanks for the $10. Thanks for supporting the channel. All the love, Mr. Yurt, or Mr. G, I should say. Sorry. Yeah, it's right there. I mean, it's right there in front of me. Thank you, Mr. G. I appreciate you. Me is with us tonight, M.E. I couldn't get behind a Kirby-led Scream movie. She could always reach out to Gail and Sydney for help solving a new round of murders. Now, this has been another theory that's once again been poking around. Sarah, we were talking about earlier how there's just nothing confirmed about this new movie, but I think if anyone from the cast is so down to still be in these movies, it's Hayden Panettiere. She had so much excitement to be back in part 6. Could you get into a Scream 7 that's led by Kirby or no? Are you with me here?
I'm like very neutral on Kirby. Like, I don't dislike her at all, but I never found myself like rooting for her either. So I could totally get behind it because I feel like if we did get like a Kirby-centric movie, it's always an excuse to like tie stuff back to Legacy. So I feel like I would then get more of what I wanted versus like just throwing in Kirby with like a whole new cast, because like she means nothing to them, right? So she's gonna have to relate back to previous characters. So I'm down for that universe.
Yeah, I think before we do something like that too, before we were to throw Kirby at a new cast, like assuming that's the situation we want to go, I feel like there's just so much more building onto her character that has to be done. Like, we've just introduced her as this brand new FBI character. You know, there's so much that has to be done, I think, character-wise. She could learn a lot from Gale, too, as we learned in Scream 6. I mean, you know, Gale's doing a better job than an FBI agent. You know, I don't know how I feel about that writing, but it's there nonetheless. It's canon. But I'm curious to see what Gale and Sydney do in the next one if they're back. Hopefully, that would be really cool. I'd love to see Gale in 7 of these movies too. That's nuts to me. It's already history that she's in 6 of them too. That's never happened before apparently.
I know. I am a little sad that wasn't, you know, Nev Campbell, like Nev Campbell's also like co-torch to like Bear. Like, I wish, but
female leads in a horror movie. Yeah, it's a shame, and hopefully she comes back for part 7, because then at least she can match Gale or get close to it, right? But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to wait for it. I'm here for Kirby leading a movie, but once again, I think we just need to develop her character a little more. We got a little taste of that in 6, but maybe not as much. Mr. Rick is with us here too. What's up, dog? Thanks for being here. Thank you for the profile picture, and thank you for being a channel member. I just appreciate it a whole bunch. I love it. I got it right behind me. How you guys doing? Can't stay long. Hot take! This should make Mark the beginning kill, and then Sydney leaves the kids with her father and tries to find the killer. But the killer kills the father. That's a whole lot of killing, Mr. Rick. Oh, I mean, a heartbreak right from the beginning. Just slicing my heart in half, Mark being dead in the opening. Sarah, what are your thoughts there?
Sorry, I was literally in your chat, like, saying hi to Ashley, talking to people.
You got to do that. It's all good. It's important.
I think that's a waste. If he's the opening kill, I think it's a waste. If he dies near the end, who's to say? But I think, yeah, bringing him back just to kill him off immediately would be a waste of him. Like, I like him as an actor. Like, say what you want about his performance in 3. I loved it.
I love him too. I think he's great. He's great in both 3 and Thanksgiving. Those are like probably the biggest frames of references for our Scream fans out there. I think he's great. I think he always kills it. He always brings something to the table. So I'd love to see him in a much more mature role too. You know, I mean, this is a character he played over 20 years ago that he would be reprising. It would be a big deal to try to find a way to reinvent that. And I actually think it would be maybe even a tougher task than what Hayden Panettiere was put up to with Scream 6. You know what I mean? She's reinventing a character that's 10 years old or a little over 10 years old. We're talking about a character this guy played like a long time ago, he was an entirely different person. Now he's an old man, and nothing wrong with that, of course. But I'm just curious to see what he would do, what he would bring to the character and reinvent it, just like how we did with Kirby in the previous entry. So
Yeah,
it
and you
makes you
could
think.
make so many ties. Like, is he still a cop? Does he know like Kirby really well? How are they connected, if at all? Like,
Is he in the FBI? Yeah, I mean that's a
yeah,
great question too. Has he worked his way all the way up to that, or is he still just working at the local police precinct of whatever town they're living in?
yeah, or is he like retired? Is he doing something else? Are they out on a farm somewhere? Like, it could we could go anywhere with it. I think law enforcement still makes sense, but like really we could go anywhere with it.
I just watched the movie VII again recently, and now like I want to see this plot line with Mark Kincaid doing something similar to that. It's his last week on the job, damn it, and Ghostface shows up in their small little community. Something ridiculous, something insane like that. Give it a little bit of drama. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, I love it. I want to see him back. Bring my dude back into it. Let's make it happen. Now, Ashley, I know that Sarah has already said hello to you, but hello, welcome in. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. You're here before The Bachelor. I'm honored more than anything.
Wow.
I'm man, to even be remotely as important as The Bachelor is wow. I'm gonna cry after this, Ashley. I hope you know that. Fort Misery Gaming is with us tonight, saying, "Jake, did you watch Fall of the House of Usher?" I did not, but Sarah, I can happily report that I did finish The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes.
It was so
And
good.
thoughts?
I lost my mind. I lost my mind multiple times throughout that series.
The
It's so good.
last like 10 minutes are just I laughed, I cried, I smiled, I cheered, I cried some more. It's beautiful.
I've seen everything that Mike Flanagan has done besides a lot of his series, and unfortunately, this is one of the things I have not seen. But I've seen all of his movies. I'm now starting to crack open into some of his series. That might be the best thing he's ever done. I mean, wow! Like,
It's my favorite of his series, like hands down. I didn't make it through Fall of the House of Usher. It was good. Like, I also didn't make it through, like, what was it, the Midnight Club or the Midnight
Midnight Club, yeah.
Society? I didn't really enjoy like Bly Manor. Like, Haunting is just it's perfect. Midnight Mass was fine, but this is something special.
I think it really comes down to the writing, the characters, the way that they layer the flashbacks too. Like, they don't give you everything at first, which is great. They just give you like a
And
little taste.
that's what I love. It was like unwrapping a present or like building a puzzle, but with like perfectly placed jump scares. There wasn't too
Yes.
many. There was like just enough, and it just like kept such like a creepy tone throughout.
They get you every time because it's not like a Conjuring flick where it's every 2 seconds the nun
No.
is just no, it's there's one an episode, if that, and then they hit every single time. They're very effective, and also just creepy images, which I feel like is so underrated in horror. You can terrify someone just with a single frame if you know what you're doing.
Right? And it was one of those where like you need to watch it twice because there's all these like hidden things that I missed the first time, and I like stumbled upon a YouTube video of someone being like, "Hey, there's like this ghost in this scene, and like this ghost actually shows up a bunch of times in this episode," and like you catch it on like the second watch. It's so good.
And without spoiling anything, you don't realize what is a ghost until later
Yeah.
on. There's some big twists, maybe about I want to say like halfway through, which blew me away. I was like, "What? Oh my god!" Like there's a few things that kind of made me lose my mind. But Sarah, thank you for the recommendation. That was fantastic. Like an unbelievably satisfying watch if you have not seen it.
Yay.
And Fort Misery Gaming, I will check out Fall of the House of Usher. But once again, I feel like I've already kind of I feel like I've watched the best. I'm like, oh man, it's all gonna be it's all just gonna pale in comparison, I guess, to that now. So I don't know. I'm hoping that it's good, but I'm worried nonetheless. The Marvel Lord is saying, "What's up, Jake?" Sorry, what's up? Had to do it right. My bad. I feel like you get high before your streams, which makes it much more entertaining. I don't know. I don't really know if that's a compliment or not. But I'm going to assume something positive here, nonetheless. You said it makes it
No
more entertaining.
positive intent. I literally say that to employees at work. I'm like, guys, we have to assume positive intent until we learn otherwise.
That is 100% true though. You can't come out the gate being like, "What the fuck, dude?" You know what I mean? That's crazy. Sometimes you get something, you don't know how to take it. But Marvel Lord, I'm gonna take this as a positive. Thank you so much. I am also completely sober, unfortunately. But thank you so much for being here, my friend. Nonetheless, thank you for being here. I had to put this one up on screen because it just made me laugh. Sloppenheimer is with us with a horrendous profile picture. I'm terrified, terrified by whatever is going on there. Kirby takes the twins with her for help with ghost face cases. Oh, like so the surviving, or not surviving, I should say the remaining core 4 members being forced into a new story. While that doesn't work for me, I'm curious, Sarah, if you would be interested in like a series, a movie, whatever. Kirby and the twins all working together.
With peace and love, I don't think that would work. Like, we have Kirby, who's just all over the place. We have, like, Mindy, who's just snarky. Chad, is he even going to be ambulatory after this last movie? Like, is Mindy just going to be, like, pushing him around in his wheelchair and solving cases with Kirby? It gets a little Scooby-Doo.
He's gonna.
Would I love to see Chad again? Of course. I love Mason Gooding. But realistically, I think they are done. I honestly don't even know if a cameo would happen. Like, I think after everything that's happened with VII, I think that we're completely splintering from the Carpenter timeline, unfortunately.
And I agree. Like, it kind of it shoves away a lot of possibilities by losing those characters, because now you have no connection to Mindy Meeks, Chad Meeks Martin either. Because, like, why would they show up? You know what I mean? They're not that good of friends with Gail or Sydney or Kirby or anything like that. You know,
unless we have a Martha death, that's kind of the only thing that, like, that's the only connective tissue left, because Sydney would have a relationship with Martha, and then obviously the kids. But that's really all I can think.
And even then, it's like that's thin. You know what I mean? It's not like they're Gail's kids. You know what I mean? That's a whole different scenario, right? But it's the sister of someone that was just woefully in love with Sydney, but never quite got there. Unfortunately, poor Randy. R.I.P. Makes me sad. You got to think there's another universe where it happened. So that makes me happy.
Yeah.
At least there's that. Mega Giants 89 is with us. Hello. What's up? Loves the shirt too. Good stuff.
Thank you. How you going?
Welcome in. Christopher Sean is with us too. They need to just make wow, we're seeing a lot of love for Kirby tonight. I dig it, Christopher.
Great.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a little love for old Curbs. Curbster. Jason Rushman is saying, "What's up, Corey, Andrew, and what?" Is there a Corey Andrew in the chat? What's up, Jason? How's it going? Hope you're having an amazing night. Thank you so much, my friend. Thanks for hanging out with us. Blair Hathaway is saying, "I can't believe Neve Campbell was not nominated for an Oscar for Skyscraper. I did not see Skyscraper."
It was fun. It was Neve Campbell and The Rock. It was a good time. But that's why I think people are making the connections with Sydney's children. So 5-second synopsis on Skyscraper. The Rock and Neve Campbell are married. They have 2 children. They all get trapped in this burning skyscraper by terrorists, and she has to basically go full mama bear and, like, protect her children and, like, get them out of this burning building while, like, fighting off bad guys. So it just, like, people can already see her as, like, a mama bear. So I think that's where a lot of the connections are happening.
Oh wow. Okay. I see.
It's fun.
It's fun. Okay. I need to see this because, like, it's almost like what you're describing is the prototype for a pitch I even had for Scream 7 this morning. So that's very interesting. I literally just posted a video talking about, like, what would that look like? What would Scream 7, where Sydney's, like, trying to defend her family, look like? How would that be oriented? How would our ghost face differ this time around? Not necessarily going after Sydney, but her family. So that's okay. I mean, that's, it's not the danger presented here is not a murderer, but it's still danger nonetheless, right?
It's good. I think it's like, it's akin to, like, disaster movies. It's just like the story's whatever, but, like, it's actually got a decent cast, and it's just like a fun action movie.
The Rock and Nev Campbell is a couple that I never thought I would see on the big screen. So I'm
They're
very
great together.
intrigued.
And Pablo Schreiber, like Lev Schreiber's brother, he's in
Oh
like
yeah,
the Halo show and um Gods and something, American Gods.
American
Okay.
Gods. Yeah.
I love him. He's great. He's in it.
Okay. I'll give it a watch. I'll see. I'm not necessarily sold on if it's Oscar nomination worthy, but Blair, I'm gonna have to check it out, man, and we'll see what's going on. Blair, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, though. Got to give this a watch. Mr. L's praising Seven too. It is an amazing film. So happy I had some time to rewatch that one again recently.
Carrie.
And Carrie has been a member for 21 months. Carrie, I love the new profile picture, by the way. It's fucking awesome. And you love Haunting of Hill House. So, like, the points are just racking up. Gold star, gold star, gold star. Ugh. Carrie, thank you so much for your support. 21 months. That's insanity, Carrie. Love it. Thank you so much. How's the channel doing, by the way? It's been a minute. I gotta hear some updates. If you put it in the chat, I will gladly throw them up on screen. Everyone subscribe to Carrie. She's awesome. She's fantastic. Great supporter in this wonderful little community. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carrie, for being here. Jake gets high on life. I get high on something, but is life that? I mean, hey, maybe, man. Let's keep going. Eric's with us tonight too. What's up, Eric? How's it going? Thanks for being here. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out with me and Sarah tonight. Noah Atkinson is saying it sounds like Chad Meeks Martin wants to be a detective. Well, he's invincible, so I think he would be good at that. I imagine. Very funny stuff. Skyscraper isn't worth any awards. She's okay, but nothing special. Damn, brutal, Ty. Brutal. You made it sound a little more interesting than that, Sarah.
It's like, have you seen San Andreas? Also
Yeah.
with The Rock. It's like that level of just like action fun.
Okay, yeah. So it's a Rock movie, is what you're saying.
It's a Rock movie.
I've seen these movies, and they're fun. They're fun from there.
He's a veteran. He has a prosthetic leg. I won't spoil anything, but he kind of uses it as a grappling hook. So use that as your barometer to gauge how fun the movie is.
All right. You know what? That sounds fun to me. I mean, listen, I am a vast enjoyer of the entire Fast and Furious franchise. So I mean, I can get into something like that. Are you excited for Fast X Part 2, Sarah?
Ask me a real question. Of course I am. I can't
Stupid questions.
wait.
Oh my God. I'm counting the days. I'm going in a full tuxedo. Like I'm going to have it hemmed and everything. It's going to be a very special day. I hope you know.
I bought a Brian O'Connor shirt, so.
Oh my God.
It's like the ones that they make on Etsy. They're like wrestling style with like his name and like all the headshots. Yeah.
Oh,
I will be wearing it.
You have to. You have to at this point. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Oh, but I think I want to get one of those shirts where it's like you can just blow up an image on it so it looks like pixelated and bad. And I think I'm going to do that of Vin Diesel's face. That's what I'm actually going to do.
I would love that. But when he's young,
yes,
like from like one of the first ones, if we can tangent for 5 seconds, I'm so sorry, chat. But like, how do we go from stealing VCRs to like landmines at the Vatican? I don't know, but I am so happy.
I am too. Listen, there is never a bad reason to talk about Fast X. I hope you know that. Like, this is a Fast X dedicated fan page.
The safe space to talk about the Fast franchise.
Scream channel? No, this is definitely a Fast and Furious channel. I don't know what you're talking about. I love that movie to death. I own the 4K Steelbook because I am that much of a dork. And I will be showing my children that one day.
I'm like, as much as I'm like, I am gonna hate that it's over. Like, I'm waiting for the insane, like, 11 DVD box set they're gonna release. I'm like, if it is not the shape of, like, a charger, I'm gonna be mad. Like, I can't wait.
Or a bottle of Nas, like that they got in the cars. Like, would that not be hilarious? Like, come on.
That might be better. Like, that might actually, from a manufacturing standpoint, might be a little more feasible. I'm in.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Carrie has given us a little update on the channel. 1.7 subs. Hell fucking yes. Just having some fun. Been playing with more movie commentaries. Thank you for the compliment on the profile pic. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, go subscribe to Carrie's page. Maybe we can get her to 2,000 subs tonight. Make it happen. She puts some really great stuff out there. She talks about a lot of different movies too, which I love. I absolutely love that about your page, Carrie. So thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. RJ is showing some love for Fast X as well. It was a great movie, kind of leery of it being in 3 parts. Listen, it has to be this ridiculous, though.
I think it's just going to be 2 now. There were rumors that it was going to be 3, but don't like quote me, but I'm pretty sure that they like officially cut it back and it's just going to be 2 parts. I would have been down for 3, but here we are.
I mean, I'm down for 4 at this point, dude. Like I will whatever they want to throw at us at this point, I'm sold. Like, I don't know. It is my guilty pleasure movie. I'm so with MMA Russi here, who says hated 8 and 9, but Fast X was a guilty pleasure. Jason Momoa is that dude. Jason Momoa kills it in that movie.
Flawless. Oscar worthy. His best performance yet. Will never be topped.
Aquaman who? That's what I gotta say to that.
Also, there was 2 Aquaman in that movie. We never talk about that.
Wait, who's the other one?
Alan Rickman. I called him Rickman, Richardson. He was Aquaman in the Smallville universe.
Oh, whoa, no way, really?
Yeah.
Cause he's fucking what's that show?
Blue Mountain State and Reacher.
Reacher, yeah. Oh yeah, he's on Blue Mountain. I forgot he's on Blue Mountain State. Yeah, yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, he's great. I had no idea he was an Aquaman. No way. That's
yeah. Unless I'm like remembering it wrong, I'm like 99% sure he was Aquaman in Smallville. Someone in the chat fact check me. That is a core memory I have.
I'm watching this. Like, I have to see this. That's crazy. Because I love Reacher. Reacher is fantastic. It's a show I don't know. I just never bring it up for whatever reason. But I've only seen season 1. I think that's why I don't talk about it. I don't want season 2 spoiled.
There's certain shows that I need to binge, and that's one of them. So I'm kind of waiting.
If you want like just big dude beating the shit out of people, like that is the show.
I've seen season 1. I'm waiting on season 2. I'm not in the. I need to be in a certain mood for certain kinds of shows, even though I know they're great. And when I start to watch them, like I love them, but I'm just not in that vibe right now. I'm actually currently watching a reality show. It's taking up a lot of space in my life. And when that is done, I think I can move on to Reacher.
Oh, what show, if you don't mind me asking?
It's called The Challenge. It's like an MTV show, but it's like a competition show, like physical challenges and puzzles, but the cast are cast of like older MTV reality shows, like The Real World and like stuff like that. So they're all like kind of like your Z-list like celebrities that are now put into like gauntlet style physical challenges, like living in a house, like psychological torment, like Big Brother. Like it's so entertaining. There's only 1 episode left and I'm very invested. This is season 31. Like,
wow.
Been around.
And I haven't heard of it. This is insane. Wow.
It's
31
incredible.
seasons.
There's too much lore. Like, you would need to start like 10 seasons ago, but it's great. Like, now they're bringing on people from Survivor. It's wild.
Because I know about Survivor. Like, that's another show that if you want to see something that's been going on since the dawn of time, like, there you go.
They're like season 42, like, mid-pandemic. I don't know why. I just, like, the algorithm took me to like immunity challenges and I was just like, I used to love this show. And then some dude, may the Lord love him, keep him, posted like all of the seasons on YouTube. But of course, each episode was like 15 parts. I just let that playlist go. I got so invested.
Oh man. Okay. Brutal. That's awesome. And Justin is saying there's 39 seasons of the challenge apparently. That's I
feel like Journey 30 was 2 years ago, Justin. Like,
people are telling me to watch like One Piece, which has like 1,000 episodes or something like that. But like, there's shows like this where I'm like, I don't even what? Like, that's too much. There's simply too much. Like, how do I even get into something like that? That's crazy. Yeah, I don't doubt it's good though.
It's an undertaking for sure. And to be like very transparent, because I feel like Justin, you're in there. I probably didn't start watching it until like season 10, but I've built up enough lore that I'm now involved, but I can see joining like a fandom in season 39 to be very daunting.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm at, and I imagine this is something where it's like you can kind of just pick it up at any season, right? It's like kind of a new cast like every single time, so it's not like
There's a
too
lot of
crazy.
returners. There's always like veterans and rookies, but it also is one of those shows where like you don't need to know these people. Like you can root for whoever you want. It's fun. It just like adds to like the universe if you do know like the lore of the competitors, but like you could jump in and just watch a random season and it would still be fun.
Okay, okay. So I mean, it's kind of like weird way of putting the weird comparison here, but it's almost like you can watch Scream 5 without having seen like Screams 1 through 4.
Yeah.
If you were just a casual viewer, you could watch it and kind of pick up what's going on. Okay, okay. I vibe with that. That's cool. I always got to bring it. You always got to bring it back to Scream. You know, that's
Of course. That's the
this
world
is
we live in.
this is a Fast and Furious channel, but you got to bring it back to Scream. Alex19881 is with us tonight. What is up, dog? Asking a Screamy question. Do you want Scream 7 to be more realistic than the other movies have been? Certain things that happen in these movies could never happen in real life. You are absolutely correct. But that's a question I want to throw at Sarah first. What are your thoughts on that? More grounded Scream.
I mean, I would say yes. I think it's going to be hard to like walk it back because we went so over the top in 6 that like if somebody were to get stabbed once in 7 and die, we'd be like, well, how could they do that? You know, Chad is literally Swiss cheese. Like, I think we'd have to ease back into some kind of reality, but yeah, I like that.
I think with what I ended up pitching today that thing about like making it more of like this cop focused movie, like where it's like it's Mark Kincaid like kind of going through this investigation of like who's doing this to his family. I think if they were to go that route, then yes. But it always just depends on the tone. Like Screams 2, Scream 6, I maybe even throw Scream 4 into this category. Like these are movies that feel like some of like the goofiest, the most like larger than life slasher movies maybe in the franchise. So that's kind of why I excuse some of the goofier stuff that happens there. Like it works with the tone, but I think it all just depends on the kind of Scream movie you're trying to make. Like it really like what's the concept of this movie? Is this going to be more of like a cold case files like Mark Kincaid focused cop drama, or is this going to be another like fun ensemble teen slasher? And I think that's where my answer comes from. Like I'm fine with stretches if it's fun, if it works, if it's not something that's like glaringly like what the fuck, this guy should be dead. but it all depends.
That too, because I don't think everything doesn't have to be a teen slasher. Like we don't need a whole new cast of teens. Like Wes Craven used to tell like mature stories. Like a lot of the cast was older in like 2 and especially 3. And I don't think we just need like a new cast of teens every time we get a ghost face. So it can be grittier. We can work with like adults at a precinct. Like I think it would be fine.
But I also think about like the older audience now. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the people that saw Scream back in 1996 have, are older now. Why not tell a more mature story in this franchise? I think it would work. I think it would be fun. I think it all comes down to execution, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But you could totally tell a Scream 7 that's like a little more like focused in on the characters. It is grounded. It is a little more realistic. But it all just depends on how you do it, I think. So, Alex, that's where I'm at. I'm like, I want to see what the film is actually going to be about first. I need a plot synopsis and then I can answer this question, but I feel like it's too soon to tell until we finally get an update, which rumor has it, Sarah, we're getting something this month, but I don't know about that.
That'd be nice.
It would be nice, but is it happening? We'll see. We'll just have to see.
I think you said this on your channel. There is some overlap in my brain, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But you had mentioned that if you thought that if they were bringing back legacies, they would announce it sooner to build hype rather than if they were completely recasting, because that left like a lot more room for like negative feedback. Was that you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that if we're getting announcements soon, I mean, it's probably just going to be director, but like the sooner kind of makes me a little more hopeful that it's like legacy news.
I stand by that. Like, I really think that if they are, God forbid, doing the whole recasting, it's a whole new slate of characters. It's just Ghostface in another town, whatever. If they're going that route, I would gamble the rest of my money on the idea that they will not even say a word of it until the trailer comes out. And then trailer 3 months before the movie comes out, they'll kind of do a little promotion with it, just drop it in theaters, keep their fingers crossed that it makes some money and doesn't piss off the fans too much. Because let's be honest, that's going to piss some people off, especially with what's happened. If they didn't fire everybody and they did that, I think that maybe that movie could work with a younger audience, but not after, what's happened and how pissed off people are.
Yeah. I just remember hearing that point, and I couldn't remember if it was you or if it was Ryan C. Showers, but I was like, I think that's spot on.
Ryan made the point that if they do make an announcement and they have some of the legacy characters secured, they would announce all of that at the same time because they need some good press. Yeah. And I 100% concur with the dude. Like if they have Nev Campbell like on lock, they got a contract with their name on it, they're going to announce that with the director, with the cast, whatever. Like all these good things all at the same time because that will completely. Yeah. Yep. And it's ridiculous how that happens because we've had people for months saying they would boycott Scream 7, but the moment that you hear something like Nev Campbell's back on or some revolutionary news like that, the whole conversation is going to shift. Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of waiting for it. I'm kind of waiting for whatever that ends up being, if it happens or not. Is it going to be doomsday scenario or is everyone going to be like, I love Scream again? It's going to be one or the other. It always is. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's where we're at. Carrie's asking about the shrine in Scream 6. Was it wasted? Because I believe it was very much wasted, so much that could have been done with that. What are your thoughts on that, Sarah?
Yeah. It was like a pretty quick walkthrough. And like we know that there was other stuff that we saw in the stills that was never shown on screen. And then we get like a minute of why the shrine was created and the big, exposition dump at the end that was the third act. And I think it was wasted. I think they could have been exploring a little more. Like I know they needed to make it quick because they had to have, Sam up there and kind of focus on her with like Billy and then, do whatever they did, clear the rest of the building. But yeah, it seems like they actually, as much shit as I give like the writing team for like glaring mistakes, like it looks like they put a lot of effort into that shrine. So like even if it wasn't on screen, like they could have done some really cool interactive stuff like on the 4K or the Blu-ray, even on a DVD. Like they could have done like a lot of extras. Yeah, I think it was wasted.
A lot of people have broken down that like the entire movie for all the Easter eggs that's in there. And it is quite impressive, like how much shit that they were able to sneak into backgrounds of shots or whatever. If it's the subway, if it's the shrine sequence, if it's Dr. Stone's little house in New York, like there's like a dead meat, like VHS or something. And it's like, what? That's crazy. Like no way would that be in there. So I do give them a lot of props for that. I think there is a lot of like, nostalgia, there's a lot of that forced into this scene that I feel like we could have utilized it in a better way versus just like, hey, look at this, look at the shiny object, come check this out. There was a lot of that in the sequence, and I kind of wish it would have pushed the plot forward just a little bit more. I think that's my biggest thing about the shrine. It's a dope third act setting, but I guess I just it's the killer's lair or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, of course it is. Wish we could have seen something else to it, but I feel you, Carrie. I feel we could have done more with it, but it's gorgeous to look at. I can absolutely say that with confidence. That was one of RJ's favorite parts. It's like, it is absolutely iconic. I will say that for sure. Definitely one of the cooler settings. I know that the Scream conversation has kind of gone cold, Sarah. Is there anything else that is coming out this year that you're looking forward to?
The Strangers.
That's coming soon too. We're getting a trailer for that in March.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see where they go with it because I'm not the kind of person that like keeps up with like little news leaks and like things like that. So I'm basically just like waiting for a trailer to drop because I don't really know where they're gonna go with it other than Madeleine Pesch is like the girl throughout, which is like I don't know if I like that they told us that right off the bat because now it's like I'm not going to be worried for her, but it's also comforting that I know that she'll at least survive the first two. Yeah, that's kind of the thing I'm most excited for. I don't know if I was like really excited for Megan, but I was bummed that it got pushed back a year, so I guess I was excited for it. But like the main thing that I'm like really looking forward to is Stranger Things.
Yes. Oh my God. Me and my girlfriend are hyped about Stranger Things season 5. We've been talking about it like nonstop.
I cannot wait. Like I'm waiting until like much closer to, and I'm gonna do like a full rewatch because like season one is incredible, but like last season is a masterpiece. Like it just has gotten consistently better. I will say, I think it was season two. They all shows do this. They have a weird season where like the main character goes off on their own to find themselves, and like I wasn't really a fan of that one, but everything else has just been like consistently really good.
And I'm with you. I really like season 1. Like that blew me away. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. There's just something. My horror loving heart just is drawn to season 4 more than any of those other seasons. It's just it's a masterpiece. It's so good. Like I loved every second of that. Like and it's so complicated. And I'm someone who's drawn more to simple stories, but that's a complicated story where every facet of it works and was thought out to a T. And I'm just like, this is amazing. This is all so good.
No, and I actually agree because there's a thing that happens in shows and it really drives me crazy. And it basically was the whole fourth season of this, but for it was so well done that it worked. But I hate when you have like your main ensemble and you splinter them and you don't like reconnect them all like within a few episodes. And I know that like this is in chunks and it's like different, but follow me on this. I usually like I don't mind an episode or two of them like off on their own, but I like the main like meat of the story for them to be all together. Like I like when everyone is in the know. I don't like when we know something that the characters don't. Like I want everybody to be on the same page when I'm watching something. So normally it would have like driven me crazy that we don't get them all together until like the last 10 minutes of like the last 10 minutes of the last episode of the season, but it was executed perfectly.
Yeah, no, there's nothing about it that I would change. Like, and I usually, like, I'll always have something, I'm always like, ah, man, I wish this was, and especially with
Well,
like,
I mean, Eddie, that's the only thing I would have changed.
well, hope may not be lost there. I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures from the season 5 set, but, we go to Eddie's grave at one point in the new season, which
Right,
is,
and I get that like it wouldn't have been as impactful if he had lived, but like, come on. He's my favorite character of the whole season.
he was very good, and I cannot wait to see like what happens next. I know his career is already blowing up, which is great. Like I'm so happy for the dude.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't I had no idea who he was before and I saw that he was on like, different shows over in the UK. But like to me this was my first like exposure to him. Look at him now. Fantastic Four, Quiet Place. He's gonna be in the Marvel what was there's something else he's in too. And I was just like, he's taken off.
I mean, listen, if you're in something that's Marvel, you're getting your health care paid for. So that's how I see it. You know what I mean? That's exciting. That's crazy money right there. So hey, good for him, man. I think he deserves it. He's a great actor, and he made season 4 very special. And I just the ending of that still brings me to tears. I think about it from time to time, and it's so good. It's
Like, do you know how many times I listened to the Running Up the Hill like Stranger Things remix? Like, so good.
that and like Metallica was on repeat for me for like a month.
So good.
I love it. I just everything about season 4 was so good. The thing I'm worried about with season 5 is I don't think they're going to be able to top it, and it's like it's going to pale in comparison. I hate to be such a pessimist, but it is something I'm worried about. It's just going to feel like, okay, here's the end of the show. I don't know.
Yeah, I know a lot of like franchises and shows are doing that thing where in the final season or final movie, they want to like bring it back to the beginning and like how it started and like find its roots again. But like sometimes that doesn't work. Like specifically Fast and the Furious and Stranger Things, it's like you went so big that like how are you gonna walk that all the way back? Like I get tying up the loose ends and like cleaning it up and maybe like simplifying the story, but like that like CGI budget is insane. Like put it to use.
And this is a crazy point to make, kind of just talking about all the things we've talked about tonight. But in terms of Stranger Things, Fast and Furious, Scream 7, like I feel like there's this energy with all of them where they want to take it back to what made the original so great. But all of these things that we're talking about have evolved so much. Like, I mean, especially Fast and the Furious. Oh my God. But how can you make Fast X Part 2 have that same, like, more grounded nature of the original Fast and Furious? You can't. After the cliffhanger that we've been left on, it's impossible. And that's not a bad thing. That's okay. You know, some of us, like how crazy we are, we want to see Fast X Part 2 be even more ridiculous and have even more stars cameo in it for absolutely no reason, like Pete Davidson.
I mean, out of everybody, the one that still gets me is Dame Helen Mirren. She's
like,
dope.
what? Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like, I'm not complaining, but it's just like, okay, all right, they're there. That's so cool. And it's the same thing with Stranger Things, though. I got to make that same point. They're bringing it back to Hawkins with this new season, and I think like what I've heard about it so far is like it's a little more grounded, it's a little more like emotional, opposed to how big and blockbustery it got in the last season. You can't. That's a forced transition, I think. Like, I feel like you brought the show up to these great grand heights. You can't bring it back down. Our expectations are up here. You can't bring it back down to here, I think, at this point.
I'm hoping that they'll make it work because they're probably thinking, well, like, the Upside Down and everything is obviously way more grand than like the real world. So by like basing them all back in Hawkins, that kind of eliminates like that portion at least. But like, we can't just like not ever address it again. This is the big finale. Like, this is not a show that should go out with like a little whisper. Like, I'm expecting big things, but like you said, like I don't want to get my hopes up.
I know. I'm going into it with a level head because I mean, I don't know. Season 4 scratched every itch I could possibly have with things I love from the 80s, horror movies from the 80s that I love that it paid homage to. I don't know. I don't see how they can go bigger than that. And I think I think maybe they're in the same boat right now. They're like, what the fuck do we do? So I just hope it's good. I hope it's something that we can enjoy. And I hope it's a good way to end the show, too, because now it's just going to be spin-off city with Stranger Things for years to come. And we're never going to hear the end of it.
It's funny that like this is where the conversation has like landed us, because I can like also tie this back to like what we were just talking about reality TV. If you watch season 1 of Survivor and you watch season 42 of Survivor, it is a different beast. Like, we have come so far that people sitting on a beach eating rice doesn't cut it anymore. We need the twists, we need the turns. Like, we need the medical evacuations. Like, it's just, everything has moved. Like, once you hit like a 5th season or like a 4th installment of the movie, like, it is so hard to walk it back.
And sometimes I would say that's okay. Sometimes, you have taken a very wrong turn. Sometimes you take your villain to space and now it's like, okay, now what the fuck do we do after that? The moment that happens, then it's like, okay, we got to find new ground to cover. But I think some of the best franchises, series, television shows, whatever, they do that. They change over time, but that's not a bad thing. I think so many people get like insecure when they've been show running something for so long. And then it's like, oh man, like this isn't like how it was 3 years ago, but that's okay. You learn things, you change as a person, and you want to make different kinds of art.
It's like the perfect example. I don't know if you would have seen it. It's like really big in Canada. It's called Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. Yes. I've seen Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. But the thing was like, they didn't win anything until their final season. And it's because of just like, it was just the growth of every character was so like perfect over those 6 seasons. Like when you look back at season 1, it's nothing like season 6. Like I don't want to say unrecognizable because that's hyperbole, but like everyone has developed so much that like, look at where they are now. They swept the awards that year. They won every category they were in. It like broke records. But like season 1 was crickets. Like you have to evolve over time. And if they had tried to, bring them back to the beginning, that would have ruined every character's arc. Like everything doesn't need to tie back.
No, everything doesn't need to tie back. And I think we also like to get in this realm of like, oh, it's more comfortable, it's more familiar if we just keep doing the same thing over and over again. But that gets boring. I'm sorry, I keep talking about my video today, but it's like it's fresh on my brain. I literally just made it. I literally just put it out. I talked a little bit about having more drama if we were to do something with a Mark and Sydney focus on screen. If they were together on screen, you can't start it right at their happy ending. You can't just say like, okay, everything's perfect, and then Ghostface comes. That's not as interesting. We know Ghostface is coming. We know that's going to happen. We know in Stranger Things season 5, Vecna's going to come back. You have to give us some drama. You got to give us something that's unexpected. Something I pitched today, Sarah, you might not like the sounds of this, but I'm still going to pitch it. I think that Mark Kincaid might want to get a divorce with Sydney at the very beginning. Like, he's literally filing the paperwork. He's freaked out. He's freaked out after everything that's happened in the past couple of years. You're shaking your head no. What are your thoughts on that? I'm curious.
Well, first of all, I can't see them doing that from a writing perspective because in the last movie we just had a Gale Dewey separation. So I'm like, we're gonna do that again? But I don't know. He was willing to go charging in guns a-blazing for her when he knew her for all of 5 seconds in Scream 3, so I can't see him abandoning his family because he's scared.
So my big thing with this, the reason I'm pitching it in the first place, is because I want to show how their relationship has evolved over time. We haven't seen it on screen. All we know about them is that they're married with kids. That's all. That's the extent of it. So what has happened in those 20 plus years or whatever? I'm worried that Sidney Prescott is now having the trauma come back a little bit, that she maybe overcame in Scream 3. She has kids now. She has something other to worry about than just herself. What if everything that happened behind the scenes in Scream 6, she's all that we know is that she took the family somewhere, a remote, safe place, whatever that Gale gave us in that one little throwaway line. What if that freaked out Mark? You know what I mean? He's like, you're instilling fear in our kids, like what, and he's thinking about, he like has this, he's weighing the red pill and the blue pill, essentially. He's like, what the hell do I do? I got to protect my kids. But, Sydney's got all this that she's going through. Of course, they reconcile by the end, and it is their happy ending by the time we get to the final shot. But it's something that I wanted to pitch because I think that some unexpected drama is always something that keeps it a little more interesting. You can't just have them being like kiss and face the entire time. That's not as fun to me. Maybe you don't have to go so extreme to the point where he has the divorce papers in his desk at work, but some kind of drama like that. And introducing the kids into it, I think makes it an entirely different movie. Something along those lines I wanted to pitch for Scream 7 if we go that route. If we go down the whole Mark and Sydney are married, we're defending the kids kind of route. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I can't see the divorce, and I can't see him like being spooked. Like, that angle just doesn't make sense to me. But what I could see is him, like, after the events of 6, like, I'd be pissed if my husband just like went off gun toting after people and like got shot and came back. Like, I'd be like, you need some therapy. So I could see him like maybe taking the kids for a little bit, just for some time apart. But that's as far as it would go. I couldn't see him actually like leaving or anything.
Yeah, I definitely, I wouldn't even take it that far. Just the mere suggestion of it, that he's struggling with it. Something along those lines. That's as far as I pitched it in today's video, because I knew taking it any farther than that would lead to a lot of people clicking on a certain unsubscribe button that I would not want them to do. So yeah, no, that's where I'm at with it too. I really think that we gotta have something like that if we're going to focus on Sydney again, though. It can't just be we're starting and she's happy, everything's great, everything's fantastic in her life. That's too easy. That's too easy for a horror movie.
Fair. I did see a comment from Carrie. I'm also excited for Twisters. I always forget about that movie because I'm trying not to get really excited because I love the original so much. And they keep like saying like, oh, this is not like a direct sequel, like it's gonna be different, but like if y'all watched the trailer, like it's a sequel. Like, we are in the same universe, we have the same everything. Like, there's Easter eggs and throwbacks just running rampant throughout this. Like, so I'm just like being cautiously optimistic that it's going to be good. I like the cast, but like, how many times now have we been promised this like nostalgia hit from our youth, and then it's just a dumpster fire when it comes out? So
The,
cautiously optimistic.
I feel you on that. I've seen the trailer for this. I saw a lot of the trailers that came out during the Super Bowl, and I'm like, I don't know, across the board, mostly everything I saw like just did not impress me. The Twisters trailer was up there though. That one was like, okay, that actually looked pretty cool. The Deadpool 3 trailer though, man, I might be one of the only people who was not like losing their minds. I love the first two Deadpool movies too. Like I love them, but that trailer just gives me this like this hint of they Disneyified it. You know what I mean? They watered it down. They made it more like, oh, everyone can now enjoy it. You know what I mean? And that's not what Deadpool is. You know, and that makes me worried.
I saw the first one and like it was fine. Like I do really like Ryan Reynolds and I like the whole idea of it. And like off screen, I love the like Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds romance. Like it's fun, but it just doesn't appeal to me. Like I'm never been like a superhero person anyway. If anything, I lean a little DCU versus Marvel. Like I just don't enjoy Marvel movies with like honestly there might be three that I genuinely say like I like.
Yeah.
So like anytime a new like superhero movie comes out, it's just really not on my radar.
I'm kind of the same way these days. I didn't used to be, but now, you know, pretty much everything that's superheroes is pretty much the same thing. It's very cookie cutter nowadays. And I think that's my biggest, like, I don't care anymore. But Deadpool was the one thing I was excited for. And I don't know, the trailer just didn't blow me away. It didn't do it for me. But I will say the Twisters trailer, I'm intrigued. I'm kind of with you in the sense that I don't know if we needed a Twisters. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I'll watch it, but did we need a sequel to this movie? I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see if it's good and not just like nostalgia cramming it down our throats or anything, right?
Like, yeah, like honestly, I found the trailer kind of long. I was just kind of, I found myself being like, okay, I get it. There's twisters. Like, and I was just like, no, I don't want to think this way. Like, I want to really like it. So I'm just trying to like stay away from it until it comes out because I genuinely really like disaster movies. Like, from like, we're talking all the way from space to like Earth disasters, like
Yeah.
a Deep Impact and Armageddon, like a San Andreas. Like, I love a disaster movie. So I'm like, I'm excited, but I don't know. I don't want to get too oversaturated with it before I see it. And I'm kind of, that's how I am now. Like, we have so many YouTube channels that are great channels that just everybody's doing deep dives. Everybody's breaking trailers apart like piece by piece. I'm just like, I feel like I'm constantly inundated with like news updates and like it's a lot sometimes. Like,
It is.
I think I was over Scream 6 before it came out. Like, I felt like I'd been hearing about it for years because it had, well, a year. But it just, yeah, sometimes it's a lot. So I've been kind of like not watching trailers, not keeping up with news, just in my little bubble.
It's tough because, you know, I want to start talking about more than just that, you know, and but I'll post something about, oh, Thanksgiving 2 is happening. You know, I'm really excited for that. I don't see as many people covering this. And then no one cares. Like I'll get 100 views, whatever, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, all right. And then maybe the excitement's not there for that one quite yet, you know. And you post something about Scream 6, that fandom's just so big. People are all about it. People are loving it. I want to start covering some of these other movies though. I really do. I want to try to make that work, but it's just it's a lot of work, and it doesn't seem like a lot of people seem to care as much, which is the biggest
So
problem.
the thing is, I'm not going to say this person's name because I don't want it to like come across as me being like negative about them on Twitter. It's a channel, I'll say that. It's not like, guys, it's not our community, it's not our people. But like they had made a comment on Twitter about how they were like really kind of like pissed. Honestly, it came off, it really rubbed me the wrong way. But it came off as they were being like really preachy about how people wouldn't watch their more unique content on non-mainstream movies and basically how we were all just like sheep who just wanted to like watch the hits. And I'm sitting here going, the call is coming from inside the house, guys. If people haven't seen these movies, why are they going to watch a 20-minute breakdown of Easter eggs on that movie? Like, you answered your own question like in your tweet. So like I totally sympathize with people wanting to make like different content and like talk about things that they're like genuinely passionate about, and maybe that's not a mainstream movie, and like I love that for them. But like you can't get mad at the people who don't watch that. Like I'm not going to watch an Easter egg breakdown of a movie I've never seen before. So I get that there's like this struggle between like wanting to do stuff that you really love, but like having to do stuff to like remain like super relevant or like get the views that you want. And like, I'm not a creator, so I have no idea how you would navigate that. So like, all I can do is say like, you're doing a great job because you're doing something I'm not doing. Like, props to you for trying to like figure all of this out because like I don't even know where I would start with this.
I think that's a lot of it. A lot of it is just the frustration. You know, it's just like I have a lot of love for the Scream franchise, but I also have a lot of love for Hellraiser, for Evil Dead, for so many other horror flicks and franchises. And I guess that's my thing. Like, I love Scream. I love talking about this. I wish the love was also there for other things to diversify a little bit. But that's just, I guess that's not really how YouTube works nowadays. Like, I think you could get away with that in 2018. You could kind of talk about whatever you wanted. And if it was all in, relatively the same boat, like, people would watch it. But now, it's not just the people. I think the biggest problem with that is that we have a content creator or whoever blaming the people. It's it's YouTube. It's YouTube. Like, you post something that's not as popular as like something from the Scream fandom, for instance, like, which is what the biggest thing in all of horror, without a doubt. You post something that's a little lesser than that, and it's just not going to get recommended as much. That's the biggest thing. It's not even that, oh, people aren't watching it. It's that YouTube's not recommending your video to as many people, and therefore it's just not going to get as many views. It's going to, the people aren't going to pay for as big of ads on that either. So it's a lot of it is the algorithm. A lot of it is more so that than over anything. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was part of that narrative for a little while. I'm like, what's going on? Why is no one watching this? Like, I busted my ass on this. I thought someone would check it out. But it's more so just how YouTube is, what the space is like nowadays, and it's tough. It's just it's a hard thing to navigate and figure out.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know how you do it. So credit where credit is due. You're doing a great job.
Sarah, thank you. I just appreciate it. I appreciate it's been a crazy 4 years. The most fun I've ever had in 4 years, but crazy nonetheless. Hollywood Guy is throwing $5 out there. Thank you so much for the support tonight, my friend. Saying, Jake, I just got here. Is there any updates for Scream? I haven't heard anything. If there is, cool. Hollywood Guy, I love your energy, man. I love it, dude. There isn't anything too crazy. No, like insane rumors going around or nothing. We know, well, rumor has it that we might be getting some kind of update regarding who's directing, who's going to be in the cast relatively soon. So that's really the biggest thing we have, but that is just a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt, my friend. What I will say, though, is that if we do end up getting something real soon, it will be either some grand big announcement, if I had to guess, or, like we were talking about earlier, just a trailer in probably like 9 months to a year's time of here's what the movie's going to be. Reboot, baby, or remake, whatever the hell, and they're just going to throw it in theaters because it's Scream, so it should make $100 million, which would suck. I really hope it's not that route. But that's all we got so far, Hollywood Guy. As you guys know, I will keep you updated as we learn more information or hear more rumors that some guy on Twitter made up. But one or the other. Hollywood Guy, thank you so much for the $5, though. Thank you for supporting this page. Really appreciate you, man. Means a whole lot. Thank you. I also want to say Carter Scotland Allen is joining us, saying good soup. It's always good soup, man. What's up? Welcome in. DJ Plays Favorites. Hello. Welcome, dog. Melissa is loud. That's funny. Saying Scream 7 should end with a CGI de-aged Nev Campbell waking up in Nancy Thompson's bed on Elm Street. She's really Nancy, and the entire Scream franchise was a Freddy Krueger dream. I don't know. Man, there's a better way to nerd. I was going to say nurture. That is not to merge these. Nurture is not the right word. Better way to merge these franchises, though. How do you feel about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, Sarah? What are your thoughts? I don't know if we've ever talked about that.
I love the original movie, and I do like New Nightmare. I could take or leave the rest. Like, Freddy's not my guy.
Oh,
really? I
really?
do really love the first one. It's just none of the sequels did anything for me. It's the same vibe as the Friday the 13th movies. There's like one or two that I really love, but it's just like I never connected with those. And I don't know if it was like an age thing. They are a little before my time. But I've always just been in the Halloween Scream universe versus the like Freddy Jason universe. Although Freddy versus Jason is kind of a guilty pleasure movie.
That's a really fun movie. I love Freddy versus Jason, but I'm so with you on the Nightmare sequels. Like they just don't do it. I love that first one. I love New Nightmare 3. Okay, you know I'm starting to get into the. I'm
Dream
starting to like
Warriors?
it. Yeah, Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling about it. But I don't know, the rest of them, they struggle to hold my attention. I think is the biggest thing. When Freddy Krueger's on screen doing some crazy fuck shit, I'm here for it. But besides that, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me. Doesn't make me lose my mind like some of these other movies.
I don't mind the mixture of like horror comedy, but Freddy did get a little goofy for me. And I think that's where that kind of lost me.
It's too goofy for you.
Yeah, like there's ways to be goofy. Like Freddy versus Jason, it's goofy. We all know it's gonna be goofy, and that's why I like it. Come on, we got Jason on fire in a cornfield getting put out by spraying kegs. Like, we're in for a goofy time. The other versus movies, Alien versus Predator, love it. We knew this was gonna be goofy when she was like indoctrinated into his like tribe and she started fighting aliens. Like certain movies I like put my disbelief aside and just like enjoy it. But I don't know, the Freddy humor didn't like it just didn't hit with me.
Yeah, I've never been crazy about them. I do love the first Nightmare on Elm Street, like yeah, like you said, but yeah, just never really. I don't know. Never was like losing my mind. Oh man, Freddy's my favorite thing. I think the Friday the 13th movies weirdly have a more of an appeal to me because it almost feels like watching these movies. They feel like event movies. Like, does that make sense? Like, I can feel the same energy as like some of the fans that would go and see like part 2 after they saw part 1. Like, I can feel that in the movie. I can feel how fun that must have been to make these sequels to this weirdly beloved thing.
I remember 2009 when like the remake came out. Like I remember the hype for that, and I would have only that was like my first year of university, and like I wasn't even like a huge like fan, but I was like, well, we gotta go. Everybody's so excited.
Right. I think part 9, like it captures the energy of the franchise while doing some modernization that is so very much so needed. Like I think the characters still kind of suck in the remake, but they're like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, but they're like ever so slightly a little better than some of the other movies. How do you feel about that? I'm just curious. What are your thoughts about the characters?
It's very like horror movie stereotypes, but like we've come to the point where like we just expect that. So it doesn't bother me as much. I think I just really liked their take on Jason. Like I love a Jason that runs. Like he was like very physically imposing, whereas the other ones, it got kind of old. It kind of became a joke. Like, yeah, it's like Michael, like he'll just walk and find you. But like this Jason was throwing axes and like bow and arrows. Like I don't know, I liked him, and I think that kind of made up for anything that the characters lacked. And I think, well, the ones that I really didn't like were the ones we were supposed to not like.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it worked for me. But that's also how I feel. It's kind of the same with like Leatherface. Like Leatherface also gets lumped into that. Where like love the original, love the 2003 remake. I could take or leave the rest.
That's totally fair. I do feel like all these franchises we're talking about are very hit or miss. You know what I mean? Like pretty much across the board. Friday the 13th, like there are a lot that I love, and then there are some that I just avoid like the plague. Like part 9, if I never see that movie again, I'll live. It's a Jason slug bouncing in and out of people's bodies, like killing. Like it's so off the wall, I can't even get into it. But yeah, I don't know. Crazy stuff. Sarah, before we sign off for the night, though, is there anything that you want to plug and throw out there? I know you have this vastly growing Instagram page.
Out of nowhere, people just started following me, and I'm like, wow, if you guys want to see me like get a haircut and go to a concert, like come hang out. It's my name. It's Sarah Campbell or SAR.Campbell. This is a new development since the last time I was here. I actually can plug something. You can find me every Friday on the Night Watch Zone.
Oh, okay, there we go.
I'm part of a reoccurring show. It's Coriander Night. Steven from Craven Something Scary and JT from Sinister Artworks. It's every Friday. We just call it like Friday Fun Night, essentially. It's part of their like Friday Family Fun Day thing. And it's a different theme every Friday. So we've done 80s movies, 90s movies, paranormal, sci-fi, underrated, and next week it's going to be overrated. We all come with our top 3 of this category, so like our 3 favorite 90s movies, 3 most overrated movies. We all give our little spiel about them. So at the end there'll be a list of 15, and then we just like gauntlet style eliminate them until we're left with like the best or worst movie in a category. It's like super fun. If there's like ties, like people in the chat are voting. It's just like this like fun interactive night.
Nice. That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, badass. Sarah, you're like a little micro celebrity in the horror community. It's great.
I was like looking at my calendar last week because I did a podcast with Ryan, and of course it was Dewey themed. It was on if Dewey should have died in 5. I emceed the night because y'all know I have a lot of opinions on it.
Oh yeah.
Looking at my calendar and I was like, oh my god, I'm booked and busy. I'm like, I don't even have a channel.
I literally
I'm thankful that you guys want to hear me talk because I have no expertise in any of this. I'm just saying little inane thoughts that run through my brain, but I'm happy that you like that.
I even, like, when I asked you to be on tonight, I was like, listen, I know you got a busy schedule. You know, you're doing the Night Watch Zone. You're doing all these, you're booked up on all the big pages. So, like, if you got time for little old Jake, I mean, come on tonight if you want, and I know you're blowing up right now, so.
Always. Well,
thank you. Sarah, I really do appreciate it, though. It's always a lot of fun talking just movies in general with you.
Yeah. You know me, I could ramble on forever, so
hell yeah.
Give me a topic.
Very good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I will be live again on Wednesday, I believe, at 7 o'clock. I don't know why, but the stream said it was going to be 2:15 on Wednesday afternoon. No, oh, hell no. Jake will not be ready to watch a movie then. 7 o'clock Wednesday night, we're watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, an absolute banger. So come on by Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Join us then. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. I'm so tired. I'm so sorry. Love to all of you guys. Thanks for being here, and peace out.